Hello everyone, welcome to The Great Everything, Anchor's #1 source for philosophical musings and cultural discoveries. Yeah, I've ranked them all, and we are #1, but also the only one. I'm Patrick, a former banking lawyer who saw the light and quit to dedicate my life to the aforementioned pursuits. Many words have been spent on the foolhardiness of my life decisions, but here we are. It's April the 25th, or as they say in proper English, the 25th of April. I wonder why that is, that difference in how we say the dates between the US and the UK. I mean, if you have ideas, please let me know. But for now, my leading hypothesis is that in the civilized world, there's an assumption that you're interacting with gentlemen of distinction who, know what month it is. So you lead with the day. Today is the 25th of, obviously, April. However, in the colonies, with all their long distances and, these uninhabited parts of land and people living off the grid, you're likely to bump into these absolute savages like my friends Brian and Josh and Big Patrick. He's Big Patrick, I'm Wee Patrick. We had to arm wrestle over that and I lost miserably. Anyway, you can observe these bearded, brutish creatures occasionally emerge from the wilderness of fantastical lands such as Georgia and Colorado and Kentucky and places like that, a bit like Bigfoot. And these people, I feel, should be excused for needing to know what month it is in civilization. Frankly, I'm rather surprised you lot don't lead with the year. Anyway, I don't know, don't blame me, that's just what my researchers tell me. So, it's 2017, April 25, and you know how we all love audio here on Anchor? Because Anchor is radio reinvented? Well, you'll notice that there's a re there. Why reinvented? Well, because radio was actually invented once before, by Guglielmo Marconi, who was born today in 1874. Audiophiles in the world, rejoice! Back then, of course, it was hardly used the way we do now to swear at each other and talk about video games. It was actually a development of wireless telegraphy, so we're talking long-distance messages and communications, military signaling, that sort of thing. One cool fact I didn't know about the radio is that Marconi's invention was used and praised in the rescue mission for the Lusitania and the Titanic. A Marconi radio was used to send out the distress signals that saved the survivors. In fact, the radio operators on the Titanic were all Marconi employees. I hope they got a raise. Speaking of radio, today is also the birthday in 1908 of my favorite radio broadcaster and journalist of all time, Edward Murrow. He was the one who stood up to Senator McCarthy and exposed him as a hypocrite, during the witch hunts in the 50s. Back in the day when to be on the news you had to possess a high level of journalistic and personal integrity, but also a great degree of culture and education and worldliness. And those were the days. Where's our Edward Murrows now? I mean, you switch on the news and it's just a bunch of shouting ignoramuses. It's depressing to think how far we've fallen since this speech.
We must not confuse dissent with disloyalty. We must remember always that accusation is not proof, and that conviction depends upon evidence and due process of law. We will not walk in fear one of another. We will not be driven by fear into an age of unreason if we dig deep in our history and our doctrine, and remember that we are not descended from fearful men, not from men who feared to write, to speak, to associate, and to defend causes that were for the moment unpopular. We proclaim ourselves, as indeed we are, the defenders of freedom wherever it continues to exist in the world. But we cannot defend freedom abroad by deserting it at home. Good night and good luck.